Right, next is Barloworld Holdings. Now, this one is interesting insofar as its major operations are, of course, those Caterpillar equipment distribution businesses in Africa, in Spain and Portugal, and also in Siberia, if you can believe it or not. Those are distribution relationships with big US corporations. But here in South Africa, it had traditionally been in motor vehicle retail as well. It's got a car rental operation called Avis. And then it's also in fleet management and some logistics as well. It's a fairly significantly smaller group on account of having done many unbundlings over the years, including PPC, I'll tell you. But it's got a market cap of just shy of 20 billion rand, dividend yield 3.75, price earnings ratio 10. That's very low. But I guess that's because in recent months, all of the mining companies have been saying, oh, CapEx finished. So the anxiety is that the order book, whatever it looked like for Bucyrus and for Caterpillar, must be looking a bit ropey.
Yeah, I mean,
and Russia, of course.
And
yeah.
of course, you look at it, you've got the pain in Spain, as they call it, with their dairy operations, which are just perpetually a drain on them. And now they're in Russia. I mean, and I think the headlines around this are pretty negative. I mean, after it paid its dividend, now the share price absolutely got slammed. I think it was just over a R2 dividend. I mean, the share price came off, I think, 13 Rand after that, with no significant news around the company, other than more tensions in Russia, and sort of the Eurozone crisis flaring up. So that, I think, putting a very negative light on Barloworld. Strangely, though, I mean, chatting to our industrial analyst, this, I'd have said, out of these 5 companies, which one are you picking? He's picked Barloworld. He says, it's trading, I think, a couple of days ago, 87 Rand. He says, at this price, you look at the dividend yield, you look at the PE. I mean, this whole sector is a low PE sector. I mean, you're not overpaying for stock in the motor and logistics sector. If you just get even a 50% PE rating with no change in earnings, you're going to make a very decent return off this company. And so this is his pick. The other thing that he did mention is, one of the things that you've got to take into account that obviously, because they're feeding through all those Caterpillar machines, Caterpillar's actually come through and they've looked at the Barloworld operation and they've decided it's the best in Africa by far. And I mean, operationally, it's the strongest. And that could mean that they're going to win contracts then and other territories in Africa that are going to be taken away by Caterpillar and given to Barloworld, which could be another kicker for the stock.
And as you say, in recent years, as the 5-year chart will show, it does have occasional rallies because it's known as a sort of cyclical player. And while things look very bleak at the moment, it's not impossible that circumstances could improve.
Like the trader in me says, steer clear of this one completely. I mean, you've just had a sell-off. You're trying to catch a falling knife here. The trader in me says, looking at that chart, give it a few more days. Let's see how far down it comes. Like I said, this is my analyst's view that's looked at it and said, at these levels, things are starting to get very interesting.
And Clive Thompson and his team, pretty solid operators. I'm going to go with not hot, notwithstanding your excellent stop story there. What about you?
I'm actually going to go not hot, but that's a personal view. It's not our house view, and that's purely based on the trader.
It looks a little bit rocky now, but might become more important.
I think if you've got a 3-year view, you get a tick up in the cycle. You can do very well with Barloworld. For me, if I'm looking at 3 months out, I'm too scared to take it.
Me too.